like several other things recently. So yeah, I hope we're all doing well. I am still working on artwork, recording videos. I should also edit some videos, but I wanted to record this one first. I do have a form now in the description of the videos that will give you a form that you can fill out and let me know anything you want to read. I'm taking a break from the play. What I am eating today is Tillamook chocolate German chocolate cake ice cream. It's dark chocolate ice cream with brown sugar coconut swirl, pecans, and chocolate fake pieces. Yeah, that was a hiccup. But yeah, that is what I'm eating. And when we last left off was at the end of page 184 in my document. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Also, I've been publishing and working on covers for other books, which I'll be doing in live streams later on this weekend and such. So yeah, enjoy that. Letizia noticed tears slowly welling up in Amy's eyes, and the teacup in her hand began to tremble slightly. Letizia's behavior and composure were always perfect, so this was unusual. Wait, why are you crying, Amy? Because you have... If I had to live apart from Tigger, just imagining it gave her sharp chest pains. Amy clutched at her pendant necklace and really began to cry in earnest. The tears streamed down Amy's face and fell onto the tablecloth. Rosalind tried to stem the flow with a handkerchief. Letizia hastily added an explanation. The climate is just completely different here. What would I do if I forced her to come with me and she got sick here or something? I guess you're right, but still. And anyway, it's not as though I left her with a total stranger. I still receive letters nearly every week telling me how she's been doing, Letizia said, swiftly looking away. With Amy's vision-clouded tears, it was Rosalind who noticed that the tips of Letizia's ears, half obscured by her shiny ringlets, were blushing scarlet. Letty, did you leave her with Prince Jahal by any chance? Ooh, a prince. That's right. As you are, as you were well aware, I'm sure. Ah, Letty's princely fiancé. He is not, Amy. He's the only one going around saying we're engaged. Oh, so this prince went, I like you. I wish to marry you. We're engaged now. And she's like, I didn't agree to this. But she also likes him. But she doesn't want him to know. Because she's a shy girl. I believe the term is tsundere. The kingdom of Baker was formed by a union of multiple smaller kingdoms. So there were several royal families. Prince Jahal was the second prince of one of these smaller kingdoms. He was also the cousin of the Princess Samin, the princess who had married the first prince of Ludicia. If you tried to apply Ludicia's organization of nobility to Baker, Princess Samin's family was like the main branch of the royal family, whereas Prince Jahal's family was an offshoot, like a duke. In Ludicia, it wasn't especially uncommon for a member of the royal family to marry someone from a foreign kingdom. Although the current crown prince's marriage was a political marriage, he had spoken with Princess Samin since they were children, so it was also like a marriage between childhood friends. Their wedding had been a very quiet affair, with the jovial bard only singing songs of blessings. By contrast, Prince Jahal had fallen head over heels in love with Letizia at first sight, courted her passionately and aggressively, and had half-forced the Marquis to give Jahal his blessing to marry her. Half-forced. Which means, like, I want to marry your daughter. Let me marry your daughter. Jahal urged Leticia to marry him right then and there, but her father reversed course and argued that, with Jahal being younger than her, they could still afford some time before marriage, so he wanted to give Leticia a chance to experience school life in her home kingdom at least once. Jahal's father, the king, often visited Leticia and was famous for his incredible good looks. It was reported that Jahal took after his father, and Jahal's older brother resembled their mother, who was also a renowned beauty. For the people of Laodicea, the engagement between the presumably handsome Prince of Baker to a Laodicean lady proud of her country was a popular topic of conversation, even immortalized in a novel making the rounds in the castle town, The Pushy Prince and the Lovely Lady, a love story. Yeah, he definitely sounds pushy. But also he's younger than her. But how much younger? And that's gonna play a part too. After overcoming misunderstandings and wicked schemes plotted against them, the two lovers declared their love for each other in the country of sand. Now they find themselves in kingdoms leagues apart, though united under the same sky. They awake from dreams of each other to pillows wet with tears. What will happen when they finally meet again? Find out in the next volume! That was how the book was described, at least. But it was purely fiction. From what Leticia told him, her parents had given their blessing, but she hadn't actually agreed to the engagement yet. Not that it mattered much in the grand scheme of things. Just as aristocratic ladies often had no say in their marriage partners, their parents' decision was the only thing that mattered. That was why the engagement was already viewed as settled, with or without Leticia's approval. He's not holding your cat hostage, is he? Amy asked. No, not at all. I asked him to take care of her. He was the one who gave her to me in the first place. He's like, oh, in our culture, we like cats. You want cat? Here, cat. Oh my. In that case, what? I mean, he gave her to me totally out of the blue, even though I never had an animal before. It was already hard at first. It was really hard at first. Ice cream, snack, break. Everyone take a hydration snack break. Amy and Rosalind had assumed that Jahal's affection had been unrequited, but when Leticia flushed as she spoke, it didn't seem like it had been altogether unwelcome. Leticia, overwhelmed by trying her best to dote on her cat given to her by fiancé, just imagining it made for an adorable picture. Whether her friends married for love or politics, Amy at least hoped they could approve of the man and marry him with genuine smiles on their faces. Amy had been raised as a noblewoman in this world too, but she still wished for that above all else. It's a love united by cats, isn't it? Said Rosalind. That's so wonderful, Rosalind, Amy gushed. Oh, and oh my goodness, Letty, would it be a white cat? And the prince would be a black cat. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Letty would be a white cat and the prince would be a black cat. Amy thought of everyone in terms of what they would look like as cats. It was typical of her to forget about humans entirely when cats were involved. Wait a minute, you two, Leticia protested, her face bright red. More and more the ladies in the lounge were listening in with gentle smiles on their faces. The three girls next to their table were spellbound, hands pressed together at their chests. Leticia, the dignified lady who had served as a model for a popular novel, typically only acted this flustered in private, in front of her friends. It was an incredibly rare yet adorable sight. For the rest of the students present, some also felt a certain sense of jealousy toward Amy and Rosalind, who were able to draw out these feelings from Leticia. But they were just passing pangs. Well, anyway, we shouldn't be talking about that stuff here. Oh, well then, why don't you come over to my house during the next school vacation? Tigger's a little shy of new people, but he's a really good kitty. Portia, too. She's a little naughty, but she's really friendly and cute. Well, my Mimi's fur is so luxurious and elegant. Letitia, wanting to brag about her own cat, accidentally got dragged back into the conversation. Amy's eyes lit up at the cat's name. Your cat's name is Mimi? That's so cute. Who gave her that name? Well, that would be me, came a voice suddenly from behind them. Wait, fucker, did you break into a school? Fucker? Sir, you're supposed to be in another kingdom with a cat. But no, you over here breaking into schools. I need a break, and my break is chocolate ice cream. Because I was not prepared for a random dude to just appear. I am now almost out of ice cream. This is just melted remnants at the bottom. Very good ice cream. I think I'll try another Tillamook ice cream in the future. Because this was nice. Alright. Amy and Rosalind jumped, scrambled for each other's hands, and turned around. A young man stood behind them, his entire body shrouded in exotic white clothing. He wore a headscarf made from the same fabric, which was fastened in place with a black ring. For a brief moment, Amy was reminded of the clothing some people would wear in some Middle Eastern countries. He had slightly tanned skin and sharp black eyes that sparkled with powerful determination. Amy could tell he was younger than them from his height and facial features, but there wasn't a trace of childish weakness or immaturity in his dignified attitude. Amy's memory of the opening image from that past life Otome game would never fade, but there was no doubt in her mind that this boy was one of the characters in it. Prince Jahal, what are you doing here? It really is him. But it can't be. Amy sat in silence, stewing in her confusion. Jahal turned to the similarly frustrated Letitia and grinned. Then, in a smooth, fluid moment, he took her hand and pressed it to his lips. The girls in the lounge, unable to contain themselves, cheered and shouted with joy. Mimi is receiving the best care at my home. You can come see her whenever you like, Letty. Like, right now, for instance. What? Letitia's blush had crept down to her neck, and she had started trembling. To drive the point home, Jahal leaned in, bringing his face very close to her. If I knew you missed me so much, I would have brought her along. But I am a little jealous. Why? Oh, you must have come to work with your dad. Your dad often does trade in the country. Letitia opened her mouth, but no sounds came out. Although he was supposed to be whispering sweetly into her ear, Amy and Rosalind could hear it clearly from the other side of the table. Does the Baker royal family have especially sonorous vocal cords or something? Amy wondered, but that reminds me, the characters in that game had voices too. Maybe I should have played more of the audio back then. Amy stopped trying to escape from the romantic scene in front of her. There had been one other thing Amy wanted to learn about the Kingdom of Baker other than their feelings on cats, and that was whether a prince from Baker was one of the romanceable characters from her Otome game. Alright, I'm gonna end here, because I wasn't prepared for this boy to show up and, like, wreck all my brain. So thank you all so much for being here as we read very slowly I rather have a cat than a harem. It is a great book so far. I absolutely loved it. I'm enjoying it immensely. And let me go ahead. I have been writing ebooks. You can get them in most ebook retailers. I've got my newer ones, because I switched to Draft to Digital, are now available on Amazon Store and a couple of other things. I'm also considering uploading my ebooks to Google Play Store. So I still gotta work out all that and figure out how that's gonna work. And if you want to get any of my artwork, help support me, you can buy my artwork on products on Redbubble for my Redbubble shop. And many thanks to my Patreon Ko-fi supporters. Y'all get art in like these videos early. Kaleidoscope Chick, Tweet Tea Cakes, Axel1154, Cassie G, Jadas DS, Axel Akara, Semi Random Sevens, and Micah. So, yay, thank you all so much for being here. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay happy, stay hydrated, all that good jazz. Bye bye. Hello, Internet, and welcome back to the Story Nook. Today we are going to attempt to finish chapter 10 of I'd Rather Have a Cat Than a Harem by Kozuzu Kobato. Our artist is Hinano Chano, reincarnated into the world of an otome game as a cat living villainous. So welcome in. Do I have my chapter title? Yes. I didn't have it up because last time I was reading the Sonic French comic book, which I actually got a comment on. It says thank you. And that person has also done fan work with one of the characters that only appears in that comic book. Hopefully they will let me read like a few pages, like the first few, I'm thinking like 5 or 10 between there, of their comic book. Hopefully my fingers are crossed. Because hey, if you have something and you want me to read it, and I would love to like read it and talk about like how awesome your work is for a bit, so feel free to send that my way. But I hope you're all doing well. There's a reason there hasn't been an upload since that last video, and that is because my computer kept crashing. I was trying to edit a speed paint, so on my main channel, Chrissy Daffy, I do videos, I do a lot of art and gaming videos and stuff, and kind of like more of my vlog content. Story Nook is just me reading books and comic books and all that. I was trying to edit a speed paint of me drawing a Pokemon as a Sonic character. It's Chikorita for Pokemon Legends CA. And the video kept crashing, corrupting. It would render. I was having all these video editing issues, and it was causing other issues with my computer. And I've finally kind of figured it out, I think. So fingers crossed that stuff works now better. I do need to update this PC tower. I've had it since 2016, 17, around that area. So fingers crossed the video's rendering will render. It's rendering right now as I'm recording this video. Fingers crossed it will render. But we're gonna read some more of I'd Rather Have a Cat Than a Harem. Last time we had the prince from Baker show up, who is, I believe, flirting or wants to be engaged or is engaged to their friend Letty. It's been that many days. It wasn't supposed to be that many days, but it has been. So we're gonna read, see how far we get into this chapter, or I guess to the 15-20ish minute mark, depending on my energy level. She thought the character was likely someone from Baker based on the clothing she could remember him wearing in the illustration, and on the close trade relationship between Baker and Lucudicia. From their ages, she had guessed a romantic character would be either Prince Jahal or his older brother. It had been said they looked quite different physically, so Amy figured she'd probably be able to tell if she got the chance to see one of them. Pictures were not yet widespread, and portraits were not always credible depictions of the subject. Amy had been hoping to hear from Letizia about Prince Jahal's specific features. She had no idea he would show up completely out of the blue. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear, I guess. Seeing was believing. Prince Jahal was almost certainly the character from her otome game. But oddly enough, the love interest standing in front of her did not want the heroine. He wanted Letizia. Even Amy who was aware that she didn't know much about love, was able to confidently draw that conclusion from such an overt display of affection. This finally breaks the pattern of the game, doesn't it? But As Amy's mind returned to reality, her eyes met Letitia's. Letitia was staring at her, begging for a way out. Amy couldn't help feeling sympathetic for Letitia, who had tears in her eyes from receiving such an embarrassing surprise in front of so many people. But Amy didn't have the faintest idea what she could do to help her out. On that afternoon, the terrace looked the same as it had every other afternoon, but the reality of the matter was totally different. Amy and Rosalid still had not moved an inch from where they had frozen, clutching each other's hands. And are you two Letty's friends? Prince Jahal asked, turning toward them and smiling. I'm having